Today we focus on one of the more fun ones to talk about. And these have all applied to marriages, have also applied to those everyday other relationships that we have, those relationships with friends, and friends and family and relatives. And so today we're focusing in on physical touch or loving touch. Now, for many of us, we're probably thinking of a 3-letter word to go along with physical touch. Ew. You guys thought I was going to say sex, didn't you? No. Ew. But as humans, tender, affirming physical touch is a fundamental language of love. I mean, if you think about it, we have 5 senses, and 4 of those 5 senses are all pretty much contained right here. We hear, we smell, we taste, we see. But touch or the sense of feeling is spread throughout our whole bodies. It's spread throughout our whole bodies. And we can tell if something is hot or something's cold, something's hard or something's soft, like the cushion, or even if something seems kind of hostile by the way it feels, or something is soft and tender, or is pleasure. And so we have these senses all throughout our body, not just located up here in one spot. Now, our fingertips and our nose, or tips of our nose, are some of the most sensitive parts of our bodies and pick up the most distinguishing touches. But we have many different common ways that we use touch as a society. So what are some of those ways in which we touch other people? What are some of those ways? Hands up.
Smile.
A smile. So you touch people with your smile. Yes, Nick?
You shake hands.
You shake hands, yes. So it's a common everyday occurrence when you meet someone new, or you're meeting up with someone. You go and you shake their hand, and you meet them, and if they shake it, you know that you're kind of in a social space where you're okay with that other person. But if you don't shake their hands, you know that person's saying, whoa, back up. And you might be less open to that person in the long run. I saw a couple more hands. Robert?
Handshake.
Handshake, yes, very good. Yes, that's another way we do it. Steve?
Cell phones.
Cell phones, yes, we connect with people through our cell phones. What about physical touch-wise? Phyllis, pats on the head. Where else might we pat someone? On the shoulder, maybe on the arm somewhere, or on the elbow. What other types of physical touch might we have? Hugs, very good. Yes, a hug. Hugs are something that we all share, and maybe more so with our family and close friends. What comes after a hug? A kiss. Now, a quick story. My mother-in-law is from Long Island, New York. Now, back when Patricia and I started dating back in high school, her mother was coming down to visit, and this is the first time I met her after about 6 months of dating Patricia. And Patricia said, all right, so there's a cultural thing up there where when you meet someone, you give them a kiss. And she said, I'm not talking a kiss on the cheek or, just a kiss in the air. No, my mom, when she meets you, it's going to be a kiss right there, right on the old lips. And I'm like, come again? What is this all about? Not quite certain I could gather or figure out what the heck was going on, what this was doing. And so, a couple weeks, month, or whatever it was later, she kept warning me and telling me, and I kept preparing myself. And still, when, your girlfriend's mother kisses you on the lips, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not dating you, I'm dating your daughter. It's still kind of, I've learned to live with it. And I accept them graciously now, but, at first, at 17, you're kind of like, oh, this is weird. And so it's something that we do and something that we usually reciprocate. These are all forms of touch that we use just kind of implicitly, touching on the shoulder, head. It's a soft, subtle touch. Now, those are just simple ones we can use, and there are other ones too, right? Like explicit types of touch, like a nice back rub or shoulder massage from a coworker sometimes, or maybe even a foot massage if you're really lucky. Maybe not to a coworker, I don't know. But but these are different types of touch, because those types of touch, they don't just, you can't just walk up and pat them on the shoulder. You have to take your time and think about them. You have to actually be there and really put effort into it. Now, as we touch other people, though, we look for certain cues whether or not we can ever do that type of touch again. If a handshake, I know for many people, a really hard, firm handshake is the sign of someone that's really sure about themselves. As people leave here on Sunday mornings, I'm aware that yes, a firm handshake is great, but I'm also aware of people who might not have a strong hand or might have arthritis and for whom that hurts. And so I apologize to anyone whose hand I've hurt over the last couple of years from doing that, but I try to gauge what pressure is given to me to give pressure back, so I'm not hurting hands in the midst of that. For others, it might be for single mothers. Some have said that how when their kids come in the door at the end of the day, if the door is slammed shut, they know, my child, they need their space. And so they allow their child their space, but if the door comes and shut softly, they know, what, they're ready for a little bit of space time, a little bit of time together. Others, it's the proximity away from them. If the child's at the other side of the room, they know, hey, my child doesn't want to touch right now. But if they're kind of wandering a little closer, they might just want a simple pat or a hug. They're ready to be loved. When I was working at a hospital as a chaplain up in Madison, I ran into a woman whose husband was literally dying right before her. And now she was from down in Florida, and so her whole family and friends network was not even close by to be there for her. And so, as the chaplain, I arrived, and we talked for about an hour or so, and finally, the hour, the conversation just kind of ran out, and they were just kind of together, and there was no one else but her and her husband, who's simply breathing as his whole body was starting to shut down. And so, I didn't know what else to do, so I put my hand on her back, and I just kind of started rubbing her back, just kind of not sure what else to do. I'm just kind of like, okay. And so, as the time went on, about 2 or 3 minutes into it, she says, you know what, could you stop rubbing my back? I'm like, okay, sure, I don't know what else to do, but she said, but if you want to put your hand on my back, that's fine. It's kind of like, that's kind of interesting. But what she was telling me was, the rubbing was annoying her, but she wanted to feel that connection to someone else. She wanted that closeness. She wanted to know that in that moment, in her despair, in her time of turmoil, that she wasn't alone through those moments. And so I just sat there and I put my hand on her back and sat with her for a while. It gave her a simple connection with someone else, with another.